Welcome to Coming In Hot. Thank you, Live from Airplay Beats, for the intro music. We are recording live from Darling New Media Studios in Midtown Sac. Now, everybody, we got a very, very, very special guest in the building on Zoom, though, because we're still doing our social distancing here. We got a guy, man, when you say started from the bottom, now you're here. We are talking about a guy where I went to his studio and we were just talking about this before we came on the air, you know, and I'm all about uplifting my brothers and my sisters out here. But when I saw this guy working out, I was like, nah, I can't do it. But
you're crazy.
The first day that I went to the studio, I was like, I didn't sign up to be a professional athlete because the first person I saw was Willie Cauley-Stein. First time I stepped up in there. But as I, went through this year-long journey of trying to get my shit together, I saw him with kids. I saw him with professional athletes. I saw him with a couple dancers. We all know what I'm talking about here, people. If you don't know who the fuck I'm talking about right now, we talking about Lem from Gale in the building.
Man, what's good with it? Hey, man,
I'm good, man.
Thanks for having me on, man. It's good, man. I'm glad you're doing good, man. I like what you're doing. So, man, it's anytime you need me on, man, I'm there. So it's good.
Hey, I'm gonna hold you to that because
good, we made it work.
Yeah, I know we tried, a few times to get together. I remember one time you were busy, the other time I had some personal shit going on. So I just really thank you, for taking this time out because I know you're a super busy dude. You got a lot of shit going on, but let's get right into it. I know you're not from Sac, so where are you from, Lem?
Man, I'm originally from San Jose. So I grew up in San Jose. Been in a lot of different states, man. Grew up, my mom was in the military, parents was in the military. Played sports, so I was always traveling as I got into my older years in college and things of that nature. But Sac is home now, so it's good.
Yeah, so kind of tell me about that journey, San Jose, you with your mom, she traveling around base to base. You're Army brat or just a military brat?
Yeah, I would say Army brat, military brat. Man, I grew up in San Jose. I was born in Los Angeles.
You got that young, swag. You got the LA swag for sure.
Yeah, I was born in LA, man. Then when I was like about 4 or 5 years old, man, my parents moved to Pennsylvania. So I was in Pennsylvania for a couple years there, and then after we was in Pennsylvania, probably about 7 years old, we moved out to San Jose. And from 7 years old, I was in San Jose, then bounced back to Denver, Colorado with my pops. And I was there for a little bit. And I said, we got to get back with my mom's in San Jose. So from about 8 years old all the way through my older years out of high school, right before going to college, I was in San Jose. So been in a little bit of different states, Texas here, a few months. So we travel a little bit, man, and then, we finally got back on the West Coast, so to speak. And then lived in San Jose, went to college at Washington State, and then transferred from Washington State, finished up at Florida A&M in Tallahassee. So I've been a little bit everywhere. Was in Alabama playing arena football, was in back in Washington State, was in Arizona playing arena football, and then played in Stockton, and then finally came back here. And now I'm in Sacramento, man.
Ooh, all right. So
yeah, I know.
Was it just football, or were you playing, football, basketball, baseball, the three majors, or were you dabbling in other shit? Because at your studio, it's for everybody.
It's for everybody. Game for everybody. You don't even need to be an athlete. We just want you to train like an athlete. So, but no, growing up in high school, I played all sports. I went to Oak Grove in San Jose.
Okay.
My freshman year, I went to a school called Wilcox in Santa Clara, but then I transferred to a school called Oak Grove in San Jose, in East San Jose, and then played baseball, basketball, football, And then going into my junior year, I just decided to play. They said, hey, you get a full ride scholarship if you take this football thing serious. So just said, hey, I gotta put everything and put my focus into football. So started playing football and was fortunate enough to, for it to happen. And went to Washington State out of high school and was there for a little bit, didn't like it too much, and then transferred out to Florida A&M. Washington State was a little different, but to be honest with you, man, I shouldn't have went to Washington State. I was kind of big headed. I wasn't as smart. I wasn't as smart as wise. I wasn't making them good decisions like I make now, as far as what my future holds. So, I just went there but fortunately, some good things happened for me, and I had some bad things happen because I made some not so good decisions in some of my choices, but it all worked out for me, man. So
yeah, for sure.
I've been through the grind, but I'm still standing. So I learned a lot along the way.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about you, Lem, because we never really had sit down hour conversations, but we had some quick 5-hitter, 5 minutes, but we got a lot of shit in when we got one-on-one. And so when you're your junior year of high school, like what position were you playing?
I played quarterback, man.
Quarterback, okay.
I played quarterback. Yeah, I played quarterback. I was a lot thicker than I am now. In high school, I was 210 pounds.
Wow.
I'm 175 soaking wet probably right now. But
okay.
But quarterback was what I played, man. I love, I love the game. I love I love the leadership role when it came to that. So, all those skills I learned with as far as, being a leader and things like that, I learned from sports. So,
yeah,
I try to apply them every day and when I come across people and, making sure they stay motivated and energized and stuff like that. I learned all that stuff through sports, man. So,
yeah.
And the struggle and fighting through the struggle and persevering and all that, man, all that came from sports. So, and I try to put that on a day-to-day basis when I'm working with people, in the business field, so to speak.
Yeah. And, like what are some of these struggles that you've been mentioning? Because I know, just as a black man, it's a fucking struggle every goddamn day. So, because you're in Washington State, and I don't know, like if my listeners know, Washington State is
that's Comin, Washington, man. That's in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
That's in the middle of nowhere. No, it's struggles would be just as, when we're talking from a business standpoint, struggling would be obviously, you gotta all the pressure is on you to make it work, so, and I'm not just talking about paying the bills and things like that, but it's just about making it work, making something, a product that's consistent, that people believe in, and just being able to do that consistently. I think that was one of the biggest struggles for me initially. I felt like I was always good with people and growing up, but I wasn't a business dude. I was a people person. I loved interacting with people and being good in that aspect. But when you're dealing with a lot of people and you're putting your name and your brand on it, you want to make sure it's something that's that people really trust, and because that's how you're going to sustain it, and I had to learn that, and be consistent, and then how to teach people around you to be as passionate about what you're trying to do, man, because it's hard. It's hard. No one's gonna grind for you like you're gonna grind for yourself. So
it
was just one of those things. It's just trying to. Now it's the same thing I do with my trainers now. It's the struggle is developing people and making sure people understand, that they have to be just as consistent as you are to make it work and to get their buy-in. The challenging part also is making sure your clients stay consistent in reaching their goals and everything that they're set out to accomplish. There's a lot of pressure on a person, you know what I mean? And people that's helping the business work. Because if that can't happen, nothing's gonna be possible. I mean, you'll have some success and then it's just gonna fade away. So I never wanted that to happen, and just constantly finding different ways to be creative and and make sure people believe in what you're doing.
Yeah, and that's, you know, like, especially
And that's the key.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we're kind of parallel, is where, you know, I had to go through that same shit, you know, being a chef. And, you know, like, I cook good food. Yeah, I know, but it's showing my cooks how to cook that food and make sure it's consistent, because it's coming from me. So, you know, and I even saw, you know, with you and Cole, and you trying to school him and being like, hey, you know, like, these people got to pay this much because X, Y, and Z, you know, and it's up to them, you know, because people take advantage, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, especially if you're a little bit lax and you're like, you know, oh, just pay me when, you know, like, if you don't tell that person when, you ain't going to get paid.
You're not going to get paid.
Absolutely. And on the other side of that, you know, you're trying to school these people like me with cooks. You're just like, hey, these people aren't going to come back unless it tastes this way.
Absolutely.
I sell a $12 chicken sandwich. If that shit ain't the best fucking chicken sandwich, I ain't going to get nobody coming back. And
absolutely.
You're saying that just, you know, like, with your trainers, and, you know, 100%. And I like how you said your clients too, because especially something that you're in, you know, like, you have a goal. You guys sit down, you guys go over the plan. You're like, hey, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to work on my abs, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, so you got to come 3 days a week for an hour. And then outside, you got to eat this, that, and the other.
Absolutely.
But then they get pissed off at you because they ain't doing that, this, that, and the other. You know, so
100%. No, man.
So tell me a little bit about that part of it, because, you know, we all know how good you are, you know what I'm saying?
I think that's, you know, Cecil, that's expectation setting. I mean, you're going to have, you know, that's goal setting. You know, I mean, I think anytime you're dealing with people, man, it's very interesting. I think it's all about setting that clear expectation from the start. And some are going to believe in it. Some are not. Some are going to stay consistent with it. And normally when a person can stay consistent with it, they're going to see a lot of results. So I try to constantly drive that with my clients and try to make sure my trainers are doing the same thing, man, because, you know, they're going to come to you with a lot of ideas on what a client wants to accomplish. But I strongly believe, man, it's up to myself as well as my trainers to make sure they hold the client accountable to the goals that client has set. And if that's not happening, man, that's on us, man. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm not with the client at home and things like that, and they're going to eat and do what they want. But I really think if you drive it consistently, I think a client can be more successful than not. And that's whether it's an athlete or a non-athlete. Obviously, an athlete, you know, they have to make sure that they're performing well. But I really believe is if you get a client to do the same thing and you create that right expectation from the start, I think you're able to transform a client's mindset. And I think that's regardless of who it is. So a lot of that's on us, man. I mean, a client comes to us with expecting certain things. They don't know how they're going to get it. But I know they're coming to you and they're paying me for a service and they're paying our trainers for a service. And if we're not delivering that, you know, that's kind of on us as well.
Okay. No, that's a great answer. So Game Fit. I don't think we ever talked about this, but I heard it started in your garage.
I did, man. So I'm gonna take you through this story real quick because I think it's very interesting because it was such a humbling experience for me to start Game Fit. So my last year playing arena football was 2011 when Stockton had a team. I was working with a company at the time. I was working for a company called BH Education. I worked in the education field in between playing arena football. Okay. You know, arena football, we practiced in the evening, played on the weekends. I worked in the education field, so I was a territory manager. So basically what my job was at the time, I was an enrollment manager. So I had a few counselors that worked under me that enrolled prospective students into different schools, whether it was a certificate program, a degree program, whether it was more degree specific. So medical assisting, nursing, whatever it may be. So I worked for a company that had that had a lot of different campuses that I would go to and help my prospective counselors recruit prospective students and show them how to enroll students and change their lives and put them in good educational plans. So I did that. Well, 2011, I was my boss in the education field. I was having lunch with her one day, and at this time I was training a little bit in my garage, just doing it more as a hobby with kids and some different clients. And I'll never forget, I'm sitting down with her at lunch, and she was a dope boss, man, dope boss. And she was like, I was doing very well for the company, was one of the top, enrollment managers in for the company. I'm sitting there having lunch with her in San Francisco one day because I had a campus that was in San Francisco. And she's like, man, you really like this training stuff, huh? I said, yeah, I really enjoy it. She says, well, why don't you do it? And I'm like, my boss is telling me, why don't I do it? You know what I mean? I work for her. I was like, you know what I mean? Like if I do it, I can't do both and really attack training the way I need to, because me, if I approach it and I attack it 100%, I'm not gonna be able to do this. And I'll never forget. She was like, I think you need to do it. She goes, now I love you working here, but if this isn't something that you see yourself doing forever, and you're really excited about, training and changing lives in that aspect, I think you should do it. And I'll be honest with you, that kind of drove me, because a person who is not going to benefit from me leaving is saying, hey, if anybody can really start their business and be successful, it's a person that you're the person. And I never forget, I was driving home from San Francisco and I'm thinking like, dang, man, she really feels I can do it. And 2 weeks later, man, I put my notice in.
Okay.
And, I told my wife was like, she always knows I had these different ideas about different stuff. And she was like, all right, if you feel like you can make it work. And man, the next thing you know, I found a building off of Del Paso Boulevard. It was right there off the corner of Del Paso and Colfax. And I had never ran a business, never like that. I've trained. So I thought running a business was training. You know what I mean? Well, I got into a mode where it wasn't like that. This was different, man. It was, I had to generate my own clients. I had to struggle. I had to work from 4 a.m. until 9 o'clock at night. So when people say working from 4 to 5 or whatever it is now, man, that wasn't nothing. And now I have a plan in place. And my first few years, man, I struggled, man. It was hard getting clients. It was hard getting consistent. It was hard charging what I needed to charge, man. I was struggling, man. I had people don't know, man. My first car, man, I had for the first 4 or 5 years working that business, man. I had a Chrysler 300 sitting on a donut for 2 years, and they don't want to tell you that story because I heard about it.
Yeah,
man, I was so scared to buy a tire, man, because every little dollar mattered. You know what I mean? So, them is those humbling stories where you say, dang, it was really like that, and it was like that. And I'll never forget those moments. And then, to sum it up, I had a great mentor, Jamal Liggins, who's a top trainer in Los Angeles, trains Odell Beckham, trains a lot of the top pros. We was linked up. A guy from Nike had been following me for a while. He knew Jamal. He said, man, I got to link you with somebody. And Jamal, who's my mentor now, man, just was like, man, you provide a good service, man, but you seeming like you just running like a chicken with your head cut off, so to speak. Man, I need you to get a piece of paper and pen. I need you to write some stuff down, man. That's gonna help you change your life. And if you do it, good things are gonna happen. And I'm super coachable, man. I'm an energetic guy, and I talk a lot, and I'm passionate about what I do. But I'm super coachable, and I listen well. You know what I mean? And when I trust people and I believe that they have my best interests and those around me, it's best interest, I'm gonna listen, right? And then I seen him being successful. So I always want to know what people are doing to be successful and how they did it, and that's always been interesting to me, regardless if it was business, sports, or whatever. And then I applied it, and the rest was kind of history, man. From 2012, 13, 14, 15, I struggled. I couldn't figure it out. I was running around in circles, man. You know what I mean? Clients were coming and going. People weren't paying me, you know what I mean, on time. I didn't have a structure and a system in place for that to really collect and understand that. And then I just started implementing things that he told me to do, man. And I'm a religious person, and I think God just kind of flipped it. He finally, God said, I'm gonna use Jamal to speak to you through him. And then it was just listen. And then it just kind of started working. And then I just became scared to fail, man. I became scared to go backwards. So every day I was just working and trying to be better. And I didn't trust people, man. I didn't have a trainer till from 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I was all by myself. So I was training everybody just because I didn't trust like that. You know what I mean? And when it's yours, you there every day, you grinding every day. You feel like the only person you got is yourself.
Yep.
So after that, man, it was just one of those things where it just started clicking. And then the consistency, I think people bought into the consistency of what we were doing and what I was doing. And then I just started getting the right people around me. And then it kind of took off. But I tell everybody, man, you know, we just getting started, man. This thing is a constant grind. I think our best years are ahead of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm excited about that. And there's a lot of stuff that played its part in between, and there was still, you know, some bumps and bruises. But I think we're at a system now, a place now where growth and developing people is all I care about.
Good.
And that's all I care about right now. And how can I get my trainers better? And how can I help grow them? How can I help them build their own brand within a brand? And how can I make sure that, you know, I deliver in a way to where I inspire them to have invested interest in themselves, and then in turn have invested interest in the brand, and then we all win.
And one thing that, you know, I want to tell everybody that listens to this, you know, and I said this in the beginning, like everything that you said that you started off with, it all makes sense now, you know, working with the kids and, you know, the athletes, but with the people, you're doing this on a level that I've never even thought that could happen, is have everybody under one roof. Like you got professional athletes next to, you know, kids that want to be them one day, next to, you know, the 40-year-old black dude that works in the kitchen all day, to next to, you know, like the housewife, you know, like it is all under one roof, and you're actually doing what you started off to do. You didn't go like, oh, Willie Cauley-Stein's calling me, fuck all y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when the professional athletes are in there, you know, like, you're not just focused on them. You're still going from client to client to client, which is really cool of you to do, because you're taking time out, you know, like, hey, this guy's a professional athlete, but I want to spend time with you because this is where you want to go. Really admirable, Lem.
I'll tell you what, I mean, our brand kind of was built like that. I mean,
game fit. It ain't professional game, you know, like, it's nothing. It's game fit.
Yes, I wanted everybody to train. And all my athletes, I try to set that expectation with them, is like, man, they were once that little kid. You know what I mean? We don't grow up and start having success or whatever it may be, money in your pocket and all that, and then start changing the way you do things. Yeah, you might change the circle in which you're around because, you know, you just want to be smarter, right? But when you're talking about a business aspect, you don't start getting people like Willie Cauley, Terrence Mitchell, and all the different pros, Shaq Thompson, all the pros that we got, and then try to change up the way you do your business strategies. Because at the end of the day, that's what made your business. You know what I mean? And my athletes know that. You know, our athletes get down with the youngsters or normal clients, and you don't even, everybody the same, man. Everybody the same. So it's like, man, none of us have arrived like that, man. We can't act as if there's still things we don't need, meaning people, you know what I mean? To be respectful and to show love and all that stuff, man. It don't matter who you are. You already know how I get down when it comes to that.
Yep.
So yeah, man, I'm still that dude, man, that was grinding in the garage. You know what I'm saying? So I tell our pro athletes, still be that kid, man, that was grinding in the, you know, on the cement, you know what I mean, hooping, you know, or that guy in the field in the mud, you know, all because you've arrived, man. Just be smarter, but you don't got to change who you are. So, I mean, we kind of on that grind, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We kind of on that grind. So, you know, we not, everybody giving autographs for free up in here. They're not charging none of our kids for no autograph.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's just part of the get down.
Yeah. It's crazy because everybody in there is like super professional. Like it's even the kids, like I even from the youngest, like that doesn't have, like the balance and stuff. But as I was in there, I just saw a progression of, so many people. And I forget the gal's name. She was a runner and she was always in there. And
Raven.
She was Raven, yeah.
Raven.
And,
like beast.
Yes. And no, she sat down. Like, I swear I was in there. I went I was in there for a month and she was just sitting there and she'll do some stretches and stuff like this. And, I was always asking Cole, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, why did she just come in here and sit? Like, no, she's training to be, Olympics, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, but she's just sitting here and her mom would come in every once in a while, and then one day she got up and she ran and I swear she took like 5 steps and she was all the way at the other end of the goddamn place. And I've never seen anything like that. And I could just imagine like, a little kid sitting there and watching this happen. Like I felt like a kid and it was just the one time I saw her run.
Yeah.
But I was like, Jesus Christ. Like she, like you said, she's a beast.
She's a beast, man. Everybody that comes in there, man, has a expectation to just work and get better.
Yeah.
And, we got to put a plan in place for everybody. So once the plan is put in place, it's kind of like, whether it's a client, I always say client or athletes, because we don't just train athletes, whether it's a client, a non-athlete or athlete, everybody, once the expectation is clear, it's kind of like they know their own routine. So it's kind of like we're still leading the way, but they're now able to lead themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So their mindset has changed. So you can come in one way and then leave with a whole different mindset.
Mm-hmm. So you got a lot of kids, and I know, especially my boy Mike Cunningham, his boys go there.
Yes.
Little Mikey and
Mikey.
And Mason, and they're pushing them to be professionals. I know Mike for a long time. Went to high school with him. I know exactly what the fuck he's doing. How do you approach that kid? And little Mikey knows this. I've said it to his parents. He's tiny. He's a tiny dude. Yeah. What do you put? But he's a beast as well. Like he's a beast.
Cecil, it's realistic expectations.
Okay.
It's we talk about trust in the process, and within trust in the process, a lot of stuff that entails in that.
Okay.
And a lot of people have their own understanding about trust in the process. I tell you what, it sounds cliche, right? But there is a place for everyone who works hard. Now, is it the place that everybody's going? That might not be it. Mm-hmm. But Mikey is small but big heart, big grinder.
Yeah.
And he's very talented. Mm-hmm. And if he can stay super consistent with what he's doing and keep the right mindset, and it's early in his life, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff that's gonna come in there. There's gonna be a lot of ups, a lot of downs. There's gonna be a lot of directions that a kid himself can take, right? But if he stays on the right track, gets put in the right positions, and has the right people along the way to continue to help develop him, I know we will, as long as he's with us. Mm-hmm. There's gonna be a spot. Now, whether it's gonna be big Division I football, probably not. Mm-hmm. Is it gonna be Division II football? Who knows? It might be NAIA or something where a guy still has an opportunity to play after high school if he's successful in high school and does some great things on the field. That's a great plan for him.
Yes.
And if he's able to go on and do that, I will probably say that he has a successful career. Now, if there's some things that happen along the way and he continues to grow, he has the right hungerness, and he's a dog. So you never know. You never know. A school can take a shot on him. But I'll tell you right, he'll have the skill set. He'll have the skill set to play at the level. Now, we have the size and all the intangibles and things of that nature. It's way too premature to talk. So when parents tell me that, even whether I'm close with them, those are kind of like how I set expectations for certain people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Huge topic. diet versus working out?
Yep.
What's the breakdown?
Well, I think we need to ask mental focus in that too. I think.
You're talking about me, aren't you?
I think mindset and mental outweigh. I think if you got that right, the diet and the working out gonna be the easy part. But let's stay on your topic because this is your show, so we're gonna stay on your topic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it comes to, I mean, your diet, the way you eat, the way you eat, man, is bigger than the way you work out. I think now I'm not saying that you could just eat right and no, because there's things you got to gain muscle, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't just be feeding your body with protein and not working out or whatever it may be and think you're going to have the look that you want. You might be the weight that you want, but you might not have the look that you want. You might have no muscle definition. Who knows? You might eat properly right and it looks like you starving yourself. And you're like, no, I'm eating. Mm-hmm. So it's it's more about being healthy, right? So we talk about the eating right. So it's about putting good foods and proper foods into your body, right? I mean, that's a big thing. And then it's about having a consistent workout plan. The workout plan doesn't have to be as intense as what we do. It could just be walking multiple times throughout the week. It could be jogging, riding your bike, so I think everybody has a different plan in place on what they're trying to accomplish and what they're trying to look like. But so I would say, I don't really like to talk about percentages. People always throw about percentages and things like that and say, it's 90% of what you eat and it's 10% of how you work out. I mean, I like to always say it's 50-50. It's 50% about making sure that you eat the right things. And it's about the other 50 is about having a good workout routine in place. I'm talking about systems that you got to have in place. Yes, the percentage might be higher on the amount of food and things like that. But I think if you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to have a good workout routine and I'm going to eat proper foods and things of that nature, I think I'm going to be pretty successful. That's how I look at it. A lot of people always want to hop on the scale and do all these different things. I mean, I know people that hop on the scale and is the exact weight that they want and more unhealthy than anybody. you know what I'm saying? So I like to really say, man, it's mental. It's a mental mindset. It's about having the right mindset and to have a good, consistent workout plan and know what you need to eat and put the proper things. I'm not saying don't have fun and don't have times where you can't splurge and stuff like that, but just know when you do those things, you might have to work a little bit harder to get back on track. And if you have that ability to do so, I think you can enjoy, all foods. You know what I mean? And still come back and work out hard. I mean, I got guys and girls that, I would like them to eat better than what they probably eat. But it's not like they're eating fast food and bad food every day. But I mean, they'll go out on the weekend and do some different stuff. But you know what? They got the mindset to come back on Monday or on that weekend. They might eat what they do all throughout the day. And I'm telling you right now, they still gonna get their workout in the evening. They still gonna get their lift in. They still gonna get their run in. And and they still gonna they know that the harder they gotta the more they ate, the harder they gotta come work out and stuff like that. So I think if you got the right mind, I think you can kind of live the kind of way you want to live within reason. Obviously, I'm not saying go out and eat bad food and drink all day long and all that different stuff. That's not what I'm saying, but you get kind of the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, you pick and choose your battles and, Absolutely. Because it's not cheap at Game Fit either, you paying like a good premium for a very good workout, top of the line equipment, top of the line facility, like everything, like people out there, athletes wouldn't be coming here if it was a shithole. Let me tell you that much 100%. Right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. So,
nor should you.
Exactly.
And I tell everybody, Game Fit is not for everybody. I mean, you got to have the right mindset and you got to really be serious about outcomes and results. I mean, I base everything that we do. I tell even my other trainers. So it's not just me. People say, well, I know it's you. I know what I tell all my trainers, if you're not delivering outcomes and results, they shouldn't pay you. They shouldn't come here. You know what I mean? There's no, I don't want no freebies. I don't want no give me's. It's not it's not about short-term victories, man. This is about long-term success and long-term consistent results. So, I mean, that's what I preach. That's what I speak. You know what I mean? That's why I'm so passionate about what I do. And so, I mean, we gotta deliver regardless of what's going on in our life. We gotta deliver to the people. We gotta bring it for them. And they expect it, and they should expect it. And I think that's the way it should be done.
Yeah.
I mean, like your chicken sandwiches, right? I mean, no, you expect them chicken sandwiches to be right for that customer.
Yes.
And if them chicken sandwiches ain't right for the customer, it's no debate. They shouldn't pay for them. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's that's a service that you take a lot of pride in that. And that's why I tell everybody, it doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if it's chicken sandwiches. I don't care if it's training. I don't care if it's life. You know what I mean? If you're not serious about what you're trying to do, then man, let's not do it. Let's not do it. Don't waste your time and money. And then don't waste the people's time who's really serious about you reaching your goals.
Yeah.
You wasted everybody's time.
That's you being an entrepreneur too, though, Lem. You know, like there's a lot of people, you know, and I watch Shark Tank every once in a while. And one thing that I always take from Mark Cuban is between a hobby and a business, you know, and when you're, you know, had your other job doing your other shit, that was a hobby in your garage, you know what I'm saying? Yes. But, you know, when you take that leap and you're over there on Colfax and Del Paso, that's you starting the business. But when you move over to exposition, that's when you're straight up business. When you got people coming in there, they're paying you for a service, you're delivering that service. And this is what I tell people that DM me, text me, hey, how do you get to that next level? You got to let everything else go. Like you said, you go to your wife first and you say, this is what I'm doing. I had to do the same thing to my wife. And I know that look of what your wife had on her face.
She was like, oh, here we go.
Here we go. You know, you've been talking about this shit. You know, like, but babe, like, no, really, I'm about to go do it.
I'm about to go make this happen.
Yeah, it might not be no money, so keep your day job. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be a couple. It's gonna be a few years struggling.
You know exactly what I went through.
Oh, exactly. And until you do that, until you go to your significant other, your parent, whatever, and you say, hey, I'm gonna stop all the bullshit. I'm going straight. I'm going for my dream. This is what I want to do. You got to go do it. And that's when you become an entrepreneur, because when you're over here dibbling and dabbling and all this other bullshit,
it's
never going to work. It's never going to work. And people ain't going to take you serious because you over here talking about, hey, I'll be right there. I'm coming from, you know, San Francisco. I had this job, you know, they don't want to hear that shit.
They don't want to hear that.
No, especially if they paying you a premium too.
Yeah. They don't want to hear none of that. They could care less. They could care less about that other gig you got.
Yeah. You know, I'm paying you X amount to be here at this time. And now I'm sitting here waiting in the goddamn driveway. I got to take off. I got other shit to do. I got the Jack in the Box that I just fucking passed on the way here.
You said you was gonna help. Said you was gonna help me not eat no more.
Exactly. So big ups to you, Lem.
Man, I appreciate it.
I got a couple top fives for you. Want to do the top five?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
All right. So top five. All right. I'm gonna say top 5 NFL quarterbacks of all time.
Oh, let's do it, man.
All right, top 5. What's Lem's top 5 QBs? Dead or alive?
Let's and no, this is my list in no specific order. I gotta say Tom. I gotta say Tom Brady.
Okay, go.
Tom Brady, he's still playing. I gotta say my guy Brett Favre, man, the gunslinger, just was a dog on the field. Was a dog
on the field. On him too, man. And I never knew that. Was it the Super Bowl? His dad died like the day before.
Yeah, that was actually a Monday night game.
It was a Monday night football game.
That was a Monday night game against the Raiders. And he sure did. Yeah, he had a that's when actually Jerry Rice was on the Raiders at that time. He had already been done with the Niners. Yeah, I remember that game like it was yesterday.
Yep.
I like him just because he played with a different swagger, a different game, and then he was one of the ones that kind of transcended the game about playing kind of lackadaisical a little bit, not super proper technique. You know what I mean? He just played it. He played his own way. Was very successful. So I gotta say Tom Brady, Brett Favre, obviously, and I'm gonna say Joe Montana because I think he them Super Bowls. It's about winning. It's about winning. I think and I think he just made people around him better. So you always gotta go with that flow. And then I want to say Randall Cunningham as far as athlete. I think he was one of the ones that kind of changed the game. As far as we really, especially when it comes from an African American standpoint, we really didn't see someone that athletic play the game and kind of change the dynamics of the position. Then I want to say Warren Moon. Because I think Warren Moon did it he did it in the Canadian League as well as in the NFL. And then he was just doing different things that a lot of people just couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? As far as the passing yards, he played on a team that wasn't super successful and didn't go super deep in the playoffs. But he was always consistent, and he didn't have a lot of good guys around him.
No,
so that's I think that's always important. And then I'll probably say the last one. I would probably say John Elway. I think he was probably at his best in his later part of I think he was super consistent through his career. But when he wasn't able to win early, he came back and won a Super Bowl towards his later years. And I'm gonna just give you one more, and that's Peyton Manning. I think I think Peyton Manning was I think he was a one that really set the tone, where as far as I think he said, and Tom Brady kind of came after as far as the understanding of the game and being the coach on the field. I think Peyton Manning was the real first one who came out and was like the play caller, where it was kind of like, Peyton, what do you want to do? What play do you want to call? How do you want to set this system up? What form do you want to, what's it, you know what I mean? And I think he was the one that kind of changed the dynamic. And you see it to this day as far as how that quarterback mental approach has changed. And I think he was the first one that did it kind of on that level. Yeah, there were some people before him, but where I was understanding the game as much as I started to understand the game was everybody that came around him was just like, he was just different when it came into the locker room and how he handled his approach and stuff like that. And then, you can always, you got your other, you got your other greats. But those are kind of some of my top quarterbacks just because of what they brought to the game and the way they changed the game. I'm not talking just stats.
Yeah.
I'm talking about transcending game, transcending the position, and just doing different things with the ball.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers is up there at the top. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I could give you a long list. I really don't want to just say 5, but those guys just did different things with the football in their hand.
Yeah. I saw John Elway over this summer. I was doing an event in Lake Tahoe, the celebrity golf tournament. And John Elway was holding court like a motherfucker. Steve Young was over there.
Yeah,
Larry
Steve Young.
Fitzgerald, Alex Smith, but all these, and John Elway just giving them knowledge. Everybody just sitting there, chicken sandwich in their hand, just holding it, just listening to them. And I don't know what they was talking about, but nobody was interrupting him. Like he was just sitting there, just dropping dimes on them. Probably
he the true goat.
Yeah.
He the true goat.
He is, man.
He the true goat.
All right. So we all know Lem and these abs. I need 5 ways to get them Lem abs. And this is probably for me right here.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Now you gotta be on a good meal plan. I mean, there's certain things that you just can't eat. You know what I mean? So obviously you gotta eat a lot of vegetables. You can eat your carbs. Everything pretty much has carbs in it. You just gotta watch your carb intake. Cardio, man. Cardio. I tell everybody, man, if you're scared of cardio, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard It's gonna be hard. It's only hard to get abs, right?
Yep.
And then consistency, like a consistent workout plan. It's not about just doing these things. I mean, this stuff takes a long time. This thing takes a long time. Changing your workouts, making sure you're adding cardio with weights. It doesn't need to be heavy weights, but there's days where you got to have your heavy days. And then also you got to focus specifically in that area. You know what I mean? A lot. You got to really focus on exactly what you're trying to do. Consistently look and see where you got to continue to improve, whether it's your obliques, whether it's your lower abs, whatever it may be, and be real with yourself and say, okay, I gotta really focus. I gotta target that area. So targeting the area is very, very important. Very important. And then doing routines that actually work. You know what I'm saying? Like proper form, proper technique. And I think that's probably the key fifth thing is making sure not only are you doing certain things, but you're doing it right. You know what I mean? That your form and your technique is good, and you're really, and that's going to allow you to target the area, right? Because if you might be doing something, but if your form is not right, you're not going to really target the area you need to, and it's going to seem like you just, you kind of just going through the motions, so to speak. And then you gotta tie all those things together, and that is the hardest thing to do. It's hard. And I say it's hard because it's hard for a committed person. Okay. I mean, it's hard for a person who has a routine and is dialed in. So I get that. So your mental mindset and your mental focus has to be all about consistency.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's not going to happen overnight for sure.
Nah, it's not going to happen overnight. And you got to understand that.
Yeah. I think that's where people get off track is when they start thinking, I've been doing this for a month and I'm still at the same weight. But you look at yourself in the mirror and you see yourself as toned, that's all progression. You know what I mean?
It's all progression.
Like you said, it's not always about the scale. And, with some of the reasons, cause I've had personal trainers in there, and that's like the first thing they want to do. They put you on the scale, and then like every week, that's deterring somebody.
Yeah.
If they got to turn in.
I tell everybody, like I might get you on the scale early on, and and as you in this grind, you change the way you do things, right? I'm learning on the flow, right? I learn as I go, and I'm like, nah. I don't even. Let's just focus on the work, man.
Yeah.
Let's focus on the work, and then when I want to get you on the scale, we're gonna get on the scale, man. I'm not doing this every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not doing this every day. You don't need to be doing it every day. Why don't we just focus on the results and the work? And when I tell you that you're looking better, because I ain't gonna lie to you.
No, you don't mince words at all.
I'm not gonna lie to you. So if I say you're not looking good and you don't look like you're not looking like you've been working, I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah. Nah,
I'm telling you the truth.
You told me a few times to get.
Yeah, we not because and obviously we're gonna do it in a way to where because right at the end of the day it's all about the client. So if Cecil tells me he wants to lose 20 pounds, but I see Cecil not doing the things that Cecil needs to do to lose 20 pounds, I have to hold Cecil accountable to make it because that was Cecil's goal. That wasn't my goal. That was just my goal for Cecil based off of what Cecil told me.
Yep.
So I'm gonna hold you accountable, and if you want to be held accountable, good things are gonna happen. If you don't want to be held accountable, you're gonna make excuses for why things aren't happening. And I'm not gonna be part of that kind of failure.
Yep. Cool. So at the end of the pod, we got a topic. It's called Coming In Hot. So Lem, it could be anything. It could be funny. It could be political. It could be about working out. But Lem, it is time to come in hot. What you got, Lem?
What's up with it?
Go ahead, man. It's your topic. What you want to come in hot on?
Hey, so my thing is coming in hot, man. I'm gonna tell you this. We got to stop making excuses in this world, man. We got to stop making excuses in this world, man. And that's in regards to everything that we doing, man. We in some rough times right now. We in some rough times. People don't care about people like I think they should. I think people just I don't think people's hearts are in the right spots right now, and I think right now we got to be real with ourselves. And I'm not going to get on here and tell people what they need to do and what they don't need to do. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you got to look yourself in the mirror right now during these times. You got to ask yourself, are you doing what you need to do to inspire people, to motivate people, and to take people to the next level? And if it's kind of like I kind of am, then you're not doing enough, man. You're not doing enough. And the only way things are going to work and things are going to get better, especially I think in our own community, is by doing that on a consistent basis with each other. And doing it in a way to, man, we're not jealous of nobody. We got to inspire each other. There's enough to go around. And you just got to keep uplifting, and you got to surround yourself with the right people that's on that same page. And because I think what's happening is a lot of people are wanting to surround themselves with the people that aren't helping them move forward. And if you're gonna keep doing that, you definitely gonna have a problem with the people that's really doing it the right way. It's just you guys aren't gonna have anything in common. You're not gonna talk the same language. Yep. And I want to talk the same language as the people doing the right things. I want to be on the same page with them. So because that's the only way I'm gonna grow. That's the only way people around me gonna grow. And man, we can't be ashamed of our successes and our failures. And I think that's the thing right now. And you're gonna take some L's. Yeah. We're gonna take some L's, man. But as long as you're getting more W's and L's, I think it's a good thing, and that's moving in the right track. So that's me coming in hot, baby.
That was hot, Lem. That was hot.
Real.
Yeah.
It's real, baby.
That's real shit. And we still got a couple things we need to fucking get back on. I know these 2 years you was trying to save a business. I was trying to save a business.
Yeah.
But like I'm always here, you know what I mean? Like, no doubt. But I still got all the notes that we was talking about. So whenever you get time,
you already know. We talked, man. We talked about a lot of stuff, man. So I knew from day one, man. You told me all your ideas and stuff that you was gonna do. I knew, we knew it was gonna be a struggle. We knew, hey, it's a struggle even when we winning. Yeah. You know what I mean? So so I tell people it's a struggle even when we winning, or what it looks like on the good side. So it's a constant thing, man. But you keep plugging. You're doing some good things, man. You're doing it the right way. Thank you. You staying consistent with it, and don't let up on this. You feel me? Yeah. Because it's gonna crack. It's gonna crack. When it's cracking. And when it crack, you're going to be really coming in hot.
Hey, man, that's what it's all about. Just getting up on here every Monday. It's another therapy session. It's my second therapy session of the day, this podcast. Go ahead and plug all your shit, Lem.
Man, I'm on Twitter, man, but I don't use Twitter so much, man. So I'm gonna just talk about our address, 209 Commerce Circle, Suite 400, Sacramento, California. The zip on that is 95815. Our phone number is area code 916-580-0658. 916-5, what did I say? Yeah, 550-0856. And our website is www.game-fit.com. My Instagram is @GameFitSac. You know where to find me, man. Yeah, you already know what it is.
Hey, I know where you at. Hey, I need one more favor from you.
What's up with it?
I need a let's get it, baby.
Let's get it, baby. You already know what it is.
Hey, click subscribe wherever you listen to the podcast. Coming in hot with Chef Cecil. Holla at me if you need any personal questions answered at Chef Cecil. If you want those delicious mouth-watering chicken sandwiches, www.nashandproper.com, @nashandproper. @nashandproper.eg on all social media handles, Coming in hot on all social media handles. I'll see you next week. Thanks to Lem of Game Fit. Hey, tell Cole to stop ducking me.
I got him,
tell
man.
His ass to stop ducking me.
Hey, I got you, man. I got you, big dog.
Hey, thanks so much, Lem.
Hey, he ducking me too.
All right, baby. I'll let you.
No doubt, baby.